Greetings, my friends. This is Celeria Rosencroix, and once more I thank you for joining me on our journey through Dark Souls See-Only Nights. Dark Spirit Melkor has invaded? Basically the devil from the Lord of the Rings universe? What the heck? Immediately after I get on here. Oh dear, this is weird. What the heck is going on? Oh, homing soul mass. Ow. Well, thank you, random evil person. That's an interesting way to start the video, at the very least. But it is a waste of humanity. Regardless, I suppose I'm here, so I might as well make my journey over to see this fellow. I remember seeing him before, but deciding it was not the opportune moment to actually greet him. Now, as we approach this man who sits here at the fortress gate, one of the first things that we might notice is the fact that this man is sitting upon a wall in a way that seems rather reminiscent of Humpty Dumpty. On closer inspection, however, we shall find that while this image is likely purposefully evoked, this man is actually bearing the form of a classical onion knight. Goody. This sort of character is supposed to begin as one who is weak and incapable and unassuming, but also has the potential for incredible growth. We see this man slumped over, seeming rather weak, unassuming, and hardly remarkable, save the fact that his armor looks like it might be somewhat expensive, if overly cumbersome. And he has a helmet that is literally in the shape of an onion, so I think he probably qualifies. As such, I suspect that this character was quite purposefully juxtaposed with Solaire, I should add, and is one to watch out for. But will this egg go rotten, or will it hatch to become a bird that inspires awe in all who meet it? Let's find out for ourselves. It would appear that either this man is too busy navel-gazing or is presently hoping that we'll ignore him. Just as with Petrus, though, I think it is best that we press on. So let us do so.
Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katarina. Quite honestly, I've run flat up against a wall. Or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak.
So, this is Siegmeyer. His name means leaseholder of victory, and this is quite clearly a foreshadowing of something. In particular, I should guess that he shall rely upon us and move forward as we succeed from this point forward. However, as his name implies a feeling of indebtedness, I imagine that Siegmeyer will also reward us as we progress. And, as such, he shall be helped off a little bit, and shall come across as, let's say, more endearing than his jolly bearing might otherwise render him regardless. Now, addressing what he actually said, he now attempts to hide that he was ignoring us, and proceeds to try and smooth over any damage that's been done. This somewhat charming fellow cracks a joke by literalizing a metaphor, and then talks about being in a difficult position, and in so doing, he, in fact, calls his situation a pickle. The stagnancy of the situation naturally invokes rot, which is a principle that he must know quite well as a man of Katarina. After all, the land and its people have an affinity for festivity, and his attitude seems stereotypical to that of a Katarinan. Even when down on his luck, he's got a sense of joviality about him. As such, I'm sure he knows the blessings of Mikloif, the god who uses rot to help rather than to harm. Pickles, I hear, are quite tasty, and both eggs and onions can be pickled too. So, here he is, waiting to see if his pickling will go well. If good things will indeed come to those who wait. And in this sense, he is truly being made out to be an onion knight. For he is embodying the real-world tradition of cromneomancy. That is, divination using onions. Historically, this would often involve placing one or more onions upon some sort of sacred altar. And waiting until they've started to sprout. Which would supposedly, depending on the timing and the character of the onion's growth, offer insights into future events. And so Siegmeyer simply waits and hopes for the best. Brilliant. Oh yes, we should talk to him just one more time.
Still closed. Still closed.
Still closed it shall be for some time, I'm afraid. What a pickle indeed. But now, since we have finished talking with him, I think it's best that we go and approach the knights over that way, upwards and into the temple. See about crossing through it and finding our way to whatever lies beyond. I'm sure there are some interesting things within the grounds, if nothing else. And perhaps we'll find an interesting sort of connection to the outside world. We can enter from here, and we'll find a big old knight. Dear, oh dear. Well, I've been trying to parry him, but it seems either the L2 button of my controller is jammed, as it seems is not the case, or there is just some badness to my timing, unfortunately. Let's see if I can get a little bit better. Come on, big old Black Knight. Hello there. There you go. That was not bad. Let's see if we can pull off the other enemies just one at a time as well. So I know he was not the only one. There's some sort of altar over there. Ah! Well, I'll have to investigate that area shortly. Fare thee well, Knicket. And that leads back down. This is definitely not the way that I wanted to go. It's been too long. This is the way. Oh, why hello, friend. Thank you for offering yourself up. Another one awaited an ambush. Well, it's good that both of them didn't come out at once. Thank you very much. Now, let's look at this internal section here for just a moment. 3 windows on either side, as well as... Well, it looks like there should be a total of 8 of these. So, 6 plus 8, that's 14. 14 is the number of the full moon. This indicates that should, in fact, be a moon-related deity. Excellent. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pillars in the center. That, in turn, brings up sulfur. Wait, no. 18. What was 18? It's not... 16 is sulfur. What is... One moment. So, if we take these 4 pillars and we add it to the 14, we get 18, which is argon. Argon signifies an inactive noble. Someone who is resting upon their laurels presently. Now, I don't know exactly who that is. Whether it's the child there that's not taking an active role in the world, the mother currently being in some sort of state of rest, or, oh, I don't know, momentary retirement to recover her power, or if there's some other force that is directly interfering in this region. We could also say 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's one at the corner as well. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is 16 actual full pillars throughout the entirety of it. That would therefore actually signify sulfur. Sulfur is reflective of the sun. It is the element of fire, but also falling from grace. Sulfur is a signal of potentially the demonic, but also especially the sun having lost some degree of influence. A sun god that has descended into a mire of inactivity. This would reinforce our sense of what Gwen is currently having to deal with, either death or stagnation of some sort. Now, let's see. I'm not sure it's the case that... Oh, We'll have to take note of these. These are warrior women torchbearers. Ah! I thought I wouldn't be able to be hit from that angle. I'll have to see about going upstairs. Whoa! You decide to come down here. Excellent! Oh, that is worth so much. Thank you, you ugly... Huh. He has 6 eyes on his head, in patterns that very much look like the lamprey in Shadow of the Erd Tree. That's worth noting. Given that's the case, since the lamprey are scholars who have devoted themselves to the fingers and sought to transform themselves to be more like them, I should think this person has some sort of divine patron who he's attempting to serve and become more like as well. An interesting thought there. This on the front here, it evokes a shape that is very similar to the Sephiroth that are supposed to be the emanations of God in the classical what is it called? The Kabbalistic texts of Judaism. But its arrangement is not quite correct. You've got a total of... let's see here. I believe that is 14. It's definitely not in the correct orientation. You have a a sort of hexagonal orientation with one descending sphere in addition to that. So there's something else that's going on here. Let's see. I wish I could properly see all of the metal plates that are going on to his body. It's a very interesting set of armor that he has. These sorts of canvas or leather or felt covered plates of metal being used as an overall body defense are far too seldom represented in fantasy. So I quite appreciate this sort of design for this armor. It's a shame that he didn't drop anything for us, but, well, we'll see if we can get something along these lines later. He has numerous shapes that look like omegas in his wrist here, which is curious. Something about the end. I don't know the end of what. Sort of reminds me of a fish of Babylon, actually, in aesthetic, but I don't know if that's an intentional thing that's being brought up here. 14, you'll remember, based on the analysis earlier through here, 14 represents the moon. This is very important to keep in mind because we have 14 of the spheres on here, or not spheres, discs rather. This person is wearing a crest that is elevating the number 14, which is associated with the moon, to godhood. He is representing himself as a follower of some sort of divine figure that is affiliated with the moon. And with scales as well, possibly. And then if we carefully look on the tassels hanging down from the 14 of the sort of quasi-Sephiroth that he has on there, we'll notice that there are a total of 11 diamonds that are coming down on those tassels above 3 ovals. 11 is the atomic number of sodium, which is associated with sacred rites and preservation. Mummies and things like this, but also the preservation of meat in general. It is a life-giving force and is associated through the god Osiris in Egyptian mythology with the transformation of the living into the dead, the rulers of the afterlife. And then you have these 3 ovals that are placed down immediately below it, which add up to 14 again. 3 is also, I should add, the atomic number of lithium, which means stone is being evoked here, and stone magic. Stone magic, for one, is necromancy, but even beyond that particular aspect, I think we should keep the actual stone magic in mind, because he has a sort of... I don't know if he actually attacked with that sort of magic, but his overall aesthetic looks almost crystalline. So it feels like he's using some sort of stony... like he's trying to establish some sort of stony aesthetic going on here. As if he wants to have stone scales, but he can't actually manage to do so. These black leather ones imitate granite, or something along those lines. A very interesting sort of figure here. Anyway, let's look here. We see in these alcoves 4 women which have mohawk-like helmets at the top, reminding of Greek helmets that had horsehair crests at the top. Overall, this woman sort of almost looks like Athena, but instead of having a spear and a shield, she wields a torch that has a flame atop it. This implies that some sort of order of women has a very important role to do with association with fire in this world, despite the fact that the gods of fire that we have found so far have been men. So that's a little bit awkward. But the real interesting thing here, there are 8 of them. 8 is associated with the Crucible in Elden Ring. And the crucible is also associated with the sun. The fell god is the god of the sun in Elden Ring, but also is the god of the crucible. Everything that is marked by the touch of the fell god has orange, which is to say primordial gold coloration. And it creates a very interesting impression that these women arrayed in a set of 8 have torches up above them, suggesting that they are associated with solar worship. And yet you have someone who is a moon worshipper hanging up there ready to strike down people who come here to worship the deity associated with the sun. Which you would think would be Gwyn, but, very curiously, it's a child that is being held, enshrined in a situation very similar, I should say, to Christ and the Madonna, which means this young child is being compared to a messianic figure, someone who would come and redeem his people. Perhaps it's thought that he would be a replacement for Gwyn once the Age of Fire started to diminish. That would be an interesting sort of situation. And here you see lions kneeling alongside men and goats, and I should think this is meant to be associated with the end times and the peace amongst the world that is brought by the coming of the Messiah, especially considering we have these doves on either side, symbolizing peace. But in this particular light, we can see one dove is gold and one is silver. Very interesting. A union of gold and silver. The sun and the moon. And then you have 2 more birds shrouded in darkness down below. Wonder what that could mean. Anyway, you have 3 figures on these candle stands. Multiply that by 2, you have 6. 6 is associated with carbon, which is humanity. So, you have a human curled up on this altar, which is, I think, intended to be something along the lines of the Ark of the Covenant, considering you have winged figures flanking a central sort of box. And while I cannot open the box to see if it has magical tablets inside, or holy tablets, I should say, we can, however, note that there are sledge-like legs on the side here for moving it. This indicates that just like the Ark of the Covenant, this altar was intended to not be a stationary one, but one that could be dragged around or carried and moved from one place to another. This is a very, very significant temple, then, if it has some significant holy relic like that. But what is in this offering? What is being given to the Madonna and her holy child? The soul of a firekeeper. Let's find out what that means. Firekeeper's soul. Soul of a long-lost firekeeper. Each firekeeper is a corporeal manifestation of her bonfire. This, it should note, is very similar to how dryads in Greek mythology are corporeal manifestations of their trees. And if we'll remember, at the beginning of the story, we have trees which had fire emerging underneath them. The sacred flame that caused time to start moving again is a thing that was localized under a sacred tree. So these fire maidens may be linked with trees as well. But the fire is what is being emphasized here. A corporeal manifestation of her bonfire and a draw for the humanity which is offered to her. Now we know that bonfires accept humanity. We have offered them ourselves. We've kindled it, and we've allowed ourselves to regenerate in humanity afterwards. But this is very interesting. We haven't met a firekeeper yet. And many of the bonfires that we've gone to have gone out. We've had to reignite them, which implies the firekeeper order is dwindling, on the decline. I do believe those statues that we found earlier are actually intended to be firekeepers. So, I will have to amend what I actually said previously. It is in fact the case, based on the gold and the silver, and the fact that you have sulfur as well as the moon being evoked in that initial room, I think it's the case, actually, that this is a temple for the union between the sun and the moon. They're coming together to try to ensure that the Firekeeper Order is keeping the flame alive. That is something deeply profound that we'll have to keep an eye on for the future. The soul of the Firekeeper, however, is gnawed at by infinite humanity and can boost the power of precious Estus flasks. And we will go up to the Estus flask, since we happen to have one of those, and we will be able to read it now for the first time. The undead treasure these dull green flasks. It's worth noting that we can't see it as green right now, but it is glass and it is glowing from within. So the light of the healing vigor itself is gold. That's the power of the sun, as we well know from Elden Ring. The tree that has replaced the sun is the golden Erd tree, which, secretly, I must tell you, has stolen the power of the sun, not just replaced it. The giants in the north, they had the power of the sun within them, and they were secretly killed off in order to take that solar fire and stick it in the tree. But regardless of that deep lore theorizing, that is for a different game, keep in mind the solar power is inside of this flask that is green. It's a dull green flask, but the light glows through it and is so powerful that it shows itself to be gold through the green of the glass. Fill with Estus at a bonfire. Fills HP. The Estus flasks are linked to the Firekeepers. The Dark Tales also make a reference. An emerald flask from the Keeper's soul. She lives to protect the flame and dies to protect it further. So, there is some sort of decline of the Firekeepers, but also, it says, there is some sort of inborn sacrificing of them. Some sort of death that is supposed to actually allow the flame to continue. And we don't know if the Firekeepers are just creatures that are born into this world like that, or if you make them into Firekeepers, if you take people and turn them into that. Dryads, as far as I understand it, are just spirits of trees. No one becomes a dryad. So we can't take for granted that people can become Firekeepers. But we can say that Firekeeper souls look like white orbs that have a bunch of, what is that? White sticky stuff heading in towards them? Yes, I think this does look like an egg being surrounded by spermatozoa that are attempting to impregnate the person who is housing it. So, the soul of the individual who's housing the bonfire essence is being turned into the image of a sun, but a silvery white sun. Almost as if a sun and the moon at the same time, as it is having this primordial essence of life, souls poured into it. Now, this is a very dangerous situation to be in. We'd learned in Demon Souls that if you intermingle numerous souls together, you will eventually have a person transform into a demon. They will lose their humanity, and they will become a twisted vision of who they once were, ceasing to actually have the same identity, but becoming a corrupt vision of that person. More powerful, but dead inside, essentially. Or at the very least, dead to who they were previously. Can boost the power of Estus flasks. We'll find out how to do that later. but also it can be used to gain humanity and restore HP at the cost of losing the Firekeeper's soul to reinforce the Estus Flask. This means it can be used as an item similar to the normal humanities. Very interesting, but it makes sense because this is a Firekeeper's soul that is being surrounded by humanity. Humanity, we see, has the same sort of white surrounding it as the spermatozoa-like rays that are closing in on the soul at the center here. The question, if the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves is a very, very interesting thing when we look at all three of these together. A soul looks like a clump of sticky white stuff. Humanity almost looks like vulva that are opened up to accept a soul inside. And the Firekeeper's soul looks like an egg that is being impregnated by numerous spermatozoa that are being associated with humanity here. So that's a very complicated and sexual image that is being evoked. I don't know what this actually means, but what I think it suggests is humans are derived from souls, this essence of whiteness, coming together with humanity, this essence of dark, which must be contained with a sheen of that white to a lesser degree, and it must come together within a human so that the human's life can actually be born. We require both humanity and a soul in order to have our personality and existence as a human properly established. That is the nature of humanity versus the soul. Both are required for the person to flourish. And here I am without one half. This is why I'm hollow. Oh yes, it's also worth noting these stained glass windows sort of things. They almost look like they have a green sheen to them, similar to the emerald of the flask in question, and are lit up in such a way that they also come across as gold in just the same way as the Estus flask. I wonder, is this actually supposed to be that soul glass here? I don't know. But why was a Firekeeper curling up here as an offering to the Madonna and the sun? I wonder if we'll be able to find out later. Let's see. Down here we have one, two, three. Okay, let's count how many pillars there are in the room. We'll just go from... We'll first start with the ones that are actually freestanding and then also include the ones that are on the edge here, like this one as well. So that's 2, 4. There would be 6, but one has been destroyed. We'll count it only as 7 here. 9. 9 is divinity. Divinity is being pointed to as something here associated with those statues. So, we have this, it's embedded into the edge, and we go into the sanctuary. There are 2 more, 2 more, 2 more, and 2 more. That's 8. The sign of the crucible, which is associated with the fell god, the god of the sun in Elden Ring. So we have divinity, the sun in here, the moon out there, with a hint of sulfur, the fire duty, the struggle, the karma which is being invoked by these women. This is a very, very important place, which evokes a union between light and dark. And out of that union, we see a son was born. A son of light and dark. Now, let's check how many pillars there actually are. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in the very innermost sanctuary, but you could count the flanking things here also. So that's either 4, which is death. That would suggest there is some sort of association with death for that woman. I wonder what that is. And 6 would mean humanity. The woman associated with humanity is also associated with death. Curious. I wonder why that might be. Anyway, though, let's see. That's 4. 2 more. That's 6. 1. Yes, even though it's square, that's still a pillar. 2, 3, 4. That's 10. 14. 18. And 22. 22 is titanium. Titanium indicates the strength of the old gods. The old gods here presumably would be Gwyn and his family. Therefore, it is evoking the might, the majesty, the pantheon from which these characters belonged. The woman, therefore, must be Gwyn's wife. Gwyn's wife is being associated with humanity and the moon, and therefore we must think the gods were in a special sort of union which embraced both their family and humanity, and then it collapsed. As we inferred might have been the case when we were looking at the intro sequence. Now, let's continue on. 1, 2, 3. That's 6 more from just the corners. But we have more than that. We have elevators. And we have additional pillars. So, that's 28 plus 3 more pillars. That's a total of 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. We have 38. 38 is strontium. Strontium is associated with lasting foundations and with nuclear reactions. Nuclear reactions are those things that the sun does in order to produce light and heat and radiation. Anyway, the entire idea here, therefore, seems to be that you will get solid, continuous nuclear reaction from the sun. That the sun will be able to support these things going forward, and that hopefully you will have an eternal age of fire. But we know that didn't happen, so this is a hopeful place. From before we found out that there would be a decline. Okay, continuing on, we had 38, that's 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. Element 55. Element 55 is cesium, associated with stability, clarity, the sky, because it's actually associated with the word that means sky in Latin, the measurement of time to the utmost degree of clarity. So it's saying time has been screwed up because the fact that the sun is actually in decline, or rather, time was stable because the sun was actually in place. The sun was linked to Gwyn's life. This was being celebrated by this temple. That's why the Firekeepers are trying to preserve the sun, despite the fact that Gwyn is now gone. Okay, that is great. So Gwen is associated with the sun. The sun determines time. Time is severely screwed up, as Solaire has told us. And we know that this is the case. So, there's elevators here. I can go down the elevator, or I can go up the stairs. I'll go up the stairs for now, see what's up here. Oh, hi there, Knight. Goodbye. Ah, it seems there are a bunch of little buggers over there. Ooh, buddy. Oh, that was some difficult gameplay. I'm glad I was able to get through there somehow. I remember this place, actually. This was a glorified death trap. And it is glorious to get through indeed. Well, hello there. Large soul of a nameless soldier, huh? Thank you. Though you have died, you have not been forgotten. 5 chairs, one of them has fallen over. Intelligence is being lost. Oh no! Completion was not able to be obtained. Or, once obtained, was somehow lost. Oh! Fire. Most curious. Oh, it's a boulder knight. No! Darn it, why did you get stuck on a round surface like that? Oh, that will be rough. $5,000 souls at stake. Come now, Boulder Knight. That is what we call in the business some vengeance. And we get a buckler, what we already have. But it's good. Very good. Let's see. 3 sets of 3. That's 12. That's magnesium. Signals artificiality. Weakness of the legs. I guess this... No, that's where the, Curious. Can't get through there. Ah. Hello.
Still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
Well, I think I will help him. He seems like a nice enough fellow.
Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this. And I guarantee a reward. Only later.
Well, yes, you were in prison, so I'm assuming that you don't have much in the way of things to offer right now. Scrounge up whatever you can and meet up with me later. A good deed never goes unrewarded. Now, 12, that's a signal of artificiality. Ah! There's a person in there! And that's 2 more, that's 14. 14 is the symbol of the moon. 16 is the symbol of the sun. So, reminder, the sun is actually... I guess we don't know the actual origin of the sun in this place. We know there's a sun god. I'm guessing the artificiality is meaning to tell us that the sun was created by that sun god, maybe in union with the moon goddess. Anyway, there are 2 tables, but we're counting chairs right now. 4 more chairs. Let's see. 16 plus 4 is 20. Element 20 is calcium. Calcium for strong bones and strong, stable structure, so that you can support yourself and the world can be supported through you. Sorry, mate. Seems I arrived a little bit late. But, what have you? Oh, humanity. Wonderful. And humanity is associated with bones, because we have the homeward bone. We know. Oh. And there's 1 fallen chair. 21 is a lucky number. It means blackjack, but the actual element 21 is scandium, which means hidden strength, hidden potential, and prophetic insight. I wonder what that could be on about. Let's see. Up there is Lautrec. This was a hidden door, or rather, a door that was not obvious that we could actually open. How do we get there? No hidden doors. How do we get to the channeler? Or the place that the channeler was? Oh! This is the place that the channeler was. Whoopsie daisy. Well, that's good to know. Two, but 1 knocked over. Let's see. 5. 5 standing up. So 5 is perfection and intelligence. 6 is humanity. And 11 is sodium, preservation. So you want to preserve through humanity and achieve perfection or completion. All right. And then you have 4. 4 is death. I guess humanity is the means through which death can be exploited, and that humanity can be used as a fuel source. Oh, and here's a boss battle, I guess. Should I do that boss battle right now? Yeah, I might as well. Let's see what we can do. Gargoyles! Oh no! They look like they're statues, but they're actually enemies. Oh dear. Oh no! Well, that was rather embarrassing. I think I will rekindle my humanity here. Let it be. What? Oh, that's a shame. I forgot about that third one. But oh well. Now things are a little bit easier. What a tricky little place. Now that is someone who will ensure that I am not embarrassed any further. Let us go together in jolly cooperation. Night Solaire! Come hither. Praise the sun. Yeah! Oh, a second one, huh? And there it goes. Ooh, and a gargoyle helm as well. Thank you, Solaire. This has been most appreciable. And that was very much worth it. Praise the sun. Aha. Nothing there in these lower levels, and yet they're still built. But there's no way to get to them. Amazing ring. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Oh, it looks like there are tree roots on the side of that mountain almost. I wonder if it's actually not a mountain, but the stump of an arch tree. Yes, that looks like it might be the case! Oh, the city of the gods was built into the fricking stump of a tree. Oh, that's beautiful. And there's that fortress that we need to do in order to get over to there. To what appears to be a tunnel that'll probably lead us up that way. Very good, very good. Gosh, the size of those arch trees, though. Whee! Clunk. Oh, hello there.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Carim, the Paul. Thou art a friend. For thee, a warm welcome. Cometh thou to confess, or to accuse? For indeed all sin is my domain.
All sin is his domain. Well, what I want to do is abandon the way of White Covenant. They seem to be pretty scummy folk, so I don't think I want to be with them anymore. Please and thank you. Covenant abandoned. Well, what is it? And if you would, I might be interested in some items. Excellent. Purging stone, ash-colored stone encased or encasing a skull. Secret treasure of Arstor, the Earl of Kareem, reduces curse buildup and breaks curse. Humans are helpless against curses, and can only redirect their influence. The Purging Stone does not dispel the curse, but receives them as a surrogate. The stone itself was once a person or some other being. I guess that's why it's encasing a skull. It was once a person. Very interesting. So curses, such as the Undead Curse, cannot be taken from an individual save by transferring it to another individual. But it can be placed upon someone, it would seem. For they place it upon corpses and we rise from the dead. I wonder how that came into existence in the first place. Indictment. Slip sold by Bishop of Velka. Oh, Velka, goddess of sin. I suppose that's why he says that he is one who has the entire domain of sin at his disposal. Though the interesting thing is, he says he can forgive your sins, as in, say, the Catholic faith, where you will have individuals who have the capacity to forgive sins, apparently, as a result of it being delegated down to the priests from Christ through the disciples, and on through their disciples and so on. That is an interesting sort of thing, that they're bringing up the confession and forgiveness of sin as a potential sort of connection here. Velka, therefore, is not a goddess of specifically sinning herself. She's the goddess of judging and mercy. Most curious. Anyway, if you are killed by an invader, use this to report the crime of that trespasser. That's interesting. I was just killed a little while ago, but I don't know if I can actually use that. I can try it. I might find that interesting, in fact. The indicted player will be added to a list of unfortunate souls who will one day face the wrath of the blades of the Dark Moon. Oh, now that is interesting. This suggests, by juxtaposition, Goddess of the Moon is also a title of Velka. That would very strongly suggest Velka is actually the one who Gwyn married. And that would most likely mean that she is also the Witch of Izalith, who had her name blotted out from history, save perhaps amongst her followers directly. I am most intrigued by this turn of events. So we shall take this. Purchase it for 200 souls, yes. Homeward bone fragments reduced to white ash. Return to the last bonfire used for resting. Bonfires are fueled by bones of the undead. In rare cases, their strong urge of their previous owner to seek bonfires enchants the bones with a homeward instinct. We already knew about this, but it's good to actually see them anyway. And to know that Velka is associated with them. That she's associated with the bonfires. As, I shall remind, this church itself is very strong indication of. It would seem that Velka and Gwyn most likely came together to actually create the bonfires and to link them to the sun so that the undead might themselves fuel the sun with their humanity. Most intriguing business here. The Book of the Guilty, online play item. Check the list of indicted players. The Goddess of Sin, Velka, oversees this list of guilty who have disrespected the gods or their covenants and shall one day face the wrath of the blades of the Dark Moon. And then we return to Purging Stone. I don't know if... Oh, yes, I remember. I did. I declared at the beginning of this Let's Play that I was a sinner because I was a thief. So let us request absolution. Velka judges that I was not, in fact, a sinner as a result. Most curious. I wonder what that means exactly.
Stocking up on indulgence? How honorable of you.
That was an adorable laugh. Oh, I can't use it. It must have to be immediately after the person comes and kills you. Darn. That's deeply unfortunate. Melkor, you'll get away this time! One day he shall face judgment for his crimes. Let's see. I have the money to burn.
I am pleased to see thee preserving thine humanity.
Ah! The goddess Velka appreciates humanity as we had interpreted. That is interesting indeed. Good to have these things confirmed. I'll get a purging stone because I have enough money. I'm guessing Book of the Guilty probably means that I have to join her covenant, and I will not do so.
Thou art welcome any time. It is only human to commit a sin.
Do please not mock me about these sorts of things. Wait a minute. 5. It's... just 3, 4, 5. Ah! No, wait. 4... That's 10. Okay. 10 lines around there. 10 dots. And 1 central one, so 21. Let's see, 10, once more. 10 is associated with neon. So that's what it was talking about. Presently, Velka is relatively inactive in the world, perhaps. She's remaining a little bit in... Oh, wait. Wait a minute. 10 is 8 plus 2. Sun plus Crucible. I see what you're getting at. Though she may play a bit of a backseat role, the struggle of the sun to remain alive is something of her interest, and the struggle of the people as they continue on to fight for that sun as well. And sodium, because we also have not only 21, but the central boss is included on 10 rays and 10 dots plus 1. So that's preservation of the sun that she's going about right here. And 21 is... Oh, what was it? I think it was scandium. Yes, element 21, scandium. Hidden potential, hidden strength, and prophetic vision. These must be the characteristics that Velka herself espouses. Quite the interesting individual. Thank you, priest. It has been an interesting bit of talking that we've been having here. And I think this is good enough for now. I shall depart from this world and bid you farewell, my friends, until next we speak.